Welcome to the RTZ series. My name is Anna, the Microsoft SAP voice, and I will voice this presentation for you today. RTZ is IBM's rational developer for System Z Eclipse-based product for z/OS programmers. Today's presentation is about connecting the RTZ environment to a remote z/OS system. This is what you see the first time you start RTZ. Initially, RTZ opens the z/OS project's perspective. This perspective is made of a number of views, one of which is the Remote Systems view. In the Remote Systems, right-click the z/OS entry and select Item New Connection. Enter the host name as you would in a 30-70 emulator. RTZ will type along the connection name, but you can change it to a more meaningful name and add your description. Click the Finish button. RTZ automatically creates 5 entries under the system name. The z/OS Unix files and z/OS Unix shells give you the ability to access your files and issue commands in your Unix space. The z/OS Unix files entry can expand and show your directories and files. Ultimately, open any editable file by double-clicking its name. Note a specialized editor with syntax coloring will open when the type of source is known. Also, a command line is available at the bottom of the window. Right-click the z/OS Unix shell entry and select Launch Shell to execute commands in your Unix space. A new tabbed window opens with a command line at the bottom of the window. In this example, ls has been entered to list the contents of the user's Unix space. The window is showing the echo of the command followed by the command output. These 3 entries allow you to access MVS files, start the built-in emulator, execute TSO commands, retrieve the reports of batch jobs. In order to access MVS files, right-click the MVS entry. Then use the Filter dialog to set up a list of datasets. First, type in the filtered string input field a generic dataset name. In this example, we want to list the subset of common system libraries starting with sys1.m. Second, name the filter. This is the name that will show in the Remote Systems view. Click Finish to start the search. The Remote Systems view has been added the new filter and below it the list of selected libraries. Note for each file the decoration indicates its usage. A little yellow folder decorates a library and double-clicking the library name will reveal the list of members in that library. In addition to the filter dialog, a number of actions can be selected. These actions usually require the user to start a TSO session. With RTZ, these actions can be performed right from your personal computer. Other actions are available from the first contextual menu for the MVS entry. The retrieve action works very much like a filter. Again, the same pattern was entered to list all the system libraries starting with sys1.m. When the OK button is clicked, RTZ builds the list of selected datasets into the Retrieve window. It is possible to make a filter from this pattern by ticking the checkbox below the list. We are assuming here that a library was retrieved that contains JCLs for job executions. Member ID print was loaded in the RTZ editor by double-clicking its name. Note this editor is very much like the z/OS ISPF editor. The submit command starts the execution of this job on the host. The system responds to the submit command by sending to RTZ the job identifier that job has been given by the system at execution time. We expand the JS section in the Remote Systems view to access the report of execution for job 58106. The report is itself structured in a number of entries. We double-clicked on the first entry to load it in the RTZ editor. It shows our job executed with a condition code of 0, which is a good thing. The contextual menu lists a number of actions including purging the job on the host without having to start a TSO session. If user is not satisfied with a job output, the SJ action edits the JCL of this particular job so that user can modify and submit it again. The TSO command tree allows to start a shell very much like the Unix shell. User can also log on to the host through the built-in 30-70 emulator. Depending on the host setup, user goes through a number of displays before accessing the TSO ISPF environment. This screen shows an example of a session through the 30-70 emulator. It is the PDF 3.2 dataset utility display where a ZOS programmer would certainly go to browse a library. Click the Host Properties tab to change settings of the 30-70 emulator, for example the screen size and the code page. Another place to visit is Preferences, from the window main menu. In the column to the left select General, then the keys entry. In the right part use the filter to search the keys you'd like to associate to an action. It is commonplace to define the PA1, PA2, PA3 and ADDN keys when working with an emulator. Finally, please note the Remote Systems view also shows the local drives, which gives the user the ability to move files between the local unit and a ZOS file system, whether Unix or MVS, or between the Unix and MVS file systems without using an additional transfer tool. Thank you for watching this session. We hope you find it useful.